Okay, so my 4th of July was a little bit interesting. Yeah, I didn't really expect to have a story time come out of this 4th of July, but it did. I hope you enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time takes place yesterday. It's currently July 5th, 7:08 p.m. as I'm recording this. And yeah, this story time takes place on the 4th of July, which was yesterday. So very recent, probably one of the most recent stories I've ever told on this channel. And yeah, this story time all starts off as a normal day yesterday. I woke up pretty early in the morning. I was pretty tired, but I was excited because it was the 4th of July. The weather was nice. I was going to hang out with some family, then go to a party later in the night with some friends, see some fireworks. You know, things were going to be great, right? I couldn't see any way this day could go wrong, right? Yeah, wrong. So, about 4 hours after waking up, I hung out with my family for a little bit, had a little 4th of July family celebration. That was all fine and normal, nothing out of the ordinary there. But it's after this where this story time really kicks off. So after I got done hanging out with my family, I went over to a friend's house. We'll just call his friend Aaron. Aaron was hosting a 4th of July party for all of his friends, and that included me and a couple people I know. And I was excited. I didn't really know what to expect because Aaron had a lot of friends and a lot of people I didn't know in his friend group. So I knew that it was going to be a pretty big party. I knew there'd be a lot of people I know, but I also knew there'd be a lot of people I don't know. So I was kind of looking forward to it, right? I thought maybe I'd meet some new friends, and I trusted Aaron's judgment to invite some cool people over. Well, about 1 hour into this party, things were going great. Things were awesome. A lot of people there. It was in Aaron's backyard. He was having a bonfire. People were just kind of kicking it, playing some drinking games, chilling at the bonfire. Things were going pretty good, right? I'd say there was probably about 30, 40 people there. And then about an hour after that, a lot more started showing up for some reason. The party nearly doubled in size within an hour and a half, and now there's probably about 60, maybe 65 people there. And every single hour, the size just keeps getting bigger. Like, you would think as the time went on, people would leave and it'd get smaller, but for some reason, I don't know why, Aaron must have invited way too many people because it just kept getting bigger. It got to a point where I think there was dead ass like 100, 150 people in Aaron's backyard, and he didn't have the biggest backyard. Like, it was packed. Now, even though there was a ton of fucking people there and it was getting a little bit overwhelming, it was still going good. There was no fights. There was no problems with anybody. Everyone was being pretty cool, pretty respectful. Everyone was getting along. Things were good, right? And then this one drunk asswipe pulls up to the party. This absolute just fucking idiot pulls up. We'll call him John, because I don't know his name. I don't know this guy. Sorry if your name's John. But anyway, yeah, John pulls up to the party, and he's already hammered. He didn't drive there. Somebody dropped him off. But he was already shit-faced, and he was just being annoying from the minute he got dropped off. Like, he walks into the backyard, and this motherfucker yells out, "What's up, pussies? The party has arrived." And everyone just looks at him with, like, the most, like, what kind of face. And, yeah, immediately he just kills the whole fucking vibe. Hate using that word, but he did. And a lot of people didn't take too kindly to John being so obnoxious and annoying. And this one kid that I knew at the party, we'll call him AJ, did not take too kindly to John. He didn't like how obnoxious he was being. He didn't like the way he was talking to people. And AJ went and found my friend, the one throwing the 4th of July party, Aaron. And he was like, "Aaron, who the fuck is that just pulled up and yelled, 'The party's arrived'? Like, do you know that guy? Like, what is his name?" And Aaron has no idea who he is. He's like, "I don't know, man. He must be a +1 or something. I didn't invite him, but if he's not hurting anybody, just leave him be. I don't really care." And AJ's like, "All right, man." And we went back into the crowd and kind of went back to just enjoying the bonfire and hanging out. And then, of course, John once again starts acting super obnoxious and really, really annoying. He ends up walking over to the bonfire, and he comes up to me and AJ, and he's like, "Yo, beer pong? Beer pong?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm good. I'm just trying to chill." He's like, "Come on, man. Don't be a puss, bro. Like, come play some pong with me. Let's do doubles." And I was like, "Nah, man, it's okay. Maybe later, though." And he was like, "Nah, man, no later shit. Now." And I'm like, "No, thank you, man." And then he points to AJ. And he's like, "What about you, bro? Come on, you want to play?" And AJ's like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And AJ's just looking mad at this point. He's looking pissed off. And John goes, "Oh, okay, so you guys are both pussies. Are you dating or something?" And AJ was just not having it. That was the final straw. He stood up, he gets in his face, and he's like, listen, dude, I don't know what your name is or who you are or who invited you here, but me and my friend here don't want to play beer pong with you. Take no for a fucking answer and leave. Go ask somebody else to play. And this guy gets all mad. John starts getting all butthurt. He's like, what the fuck? Didn't know this party was for such pussies. Like, you guys are fucking losers. And he starts talking all this shit, right? And AJ's not having it even more. And he gets even closer, like right up to his face. And he's like, if you insult me and my boy one more time, I'm gonna fucking lay you out. I'm done with you. No one here wants to deal with this shit. And I get between them. I'm like, all right, guys, like, relax. Like, don't fight. Come on. Because I don't want to see either of them fight each other. Even though I don't like this John guy and he's insulting me, I don't want to see him get his ass knocked out. I don't want to see AJ get knocked out by some drunk guy. Like, I just would rather not see people get hurt on the 4th of July and just have everyone coexist and be happy, right? Well, unfortunately, John did not care, and he was just too drunk to care. And he ends up swinging at AJ around my head. Like, he reaches around my head and throws a punch at AJ and ends up hitting me in the ear with his arm and barely hitting AJ. My head actually kind of blocked his punch. Like, it kind of killed the momentum of his arm, and it pretty much tapped AJ, the punch, and I took most of the force from the side of his arm. And AJ took that as, oh shit, you just swung on Austin and me, so now I'm really gonna fight you. And AJ ends up throwing me out of the way and just diving at this motherfucker, like straight up tackling him, and just starts throwing punches left and right at this dude while he's down. And everyone from the party sees this and immediately runs over and breaks it up. It did not last very long. AJ probably only got a few punches in before it was broken up, and luckily nobody got too hurt, right? Now, after they're broken up, I'm thinking that's the end of it, right? I think this can't go any further. Things are done. We're good. John's going to get kicked out, or AJ's going to get kicked out. Either way, there will be no more fighting, right? Well, after the fight's broken up, Aaron runs over, the host of the party, and he's like, yo, what the fuck happened? And AJ tells him his side of the story. John tells him his. He can barely speak, John, because he's so hammered. And Aaron ends up kicking out John, the belligerent drunk man who could not handle himself. And that made sense, right? Like, Aaron knew AJ, they were friends, he didn't know this John dude, so he kicked him out, right? Now, John, the belligerent drunk man, was fucking furious that he got kicked out. He starts swearing at Aaron, swearing at AJ, yelling at the whole party. He's like, fuck all y'all, this party was dumb as shit anyway, I'm fucking leaving, there's way better parties going on right now than this piece of shit. And he walks away from everybody while throwing the finger at everyone, right? And everyone's laughing and booing at him, and he walks away, right? Now, to leave the party, you had to walk through Aaron's garage because there was a fence around the backyard, and it was just easier to go through the garage because it was unlocked and it connected to the driveway versus going all the way around the house and going around the fence. So after John got kicked out of the party and was, throwing everyone the finger and saying, fuck this party, he walks through the garage and slams the door, and he's gone, right? I'm thinking, okay, that's the end of it. John, the Mr. Belligerent drunk man, is gone. Everything's good. And that's it, right? Nothing else is going to happen. Well, I had no idea, but apparently Aaron, the host of the party, had a bunch of fireworks in his garage because he was going to have a little, private fireworks show for the party. He was going to light off some sick fireworks that he bought, and I guess it was like $500 worth of fireworks in that garage. Like I said, I had no idea about this. But when John was leaving the party and going into the front yard to leave, he must have noticed all the fireworks sitting there in the garage, and he starts grabbing them and putting them in his pockets. And he walks back out into the backyard where the party was going on, walks up to me, AJ, and Aaron, the host of the party, and he pulls out one of the bottle rockets, one of the fireworks, and lights it with his lighter and aims it at us and goes, better start running. This psychotic motherfucker couldn't handle the fact that he was too fucked up, got beat in a fight, and was getting kicked out of a party, so he took a bunch of Aaron's fireworks from the garage as he was leaving and walked out in the back again and started to light one of them and aim it at us to try and shoot us with it. So immediately we run, we dispersed fast as fuck, and I don't have anywhere to hide because there's really nowhere to hide because it's just an open backyard. So I dive into Aaron's pool, because if I just sit underwater, the firework's not going to reach me. It's going to go in the water and just douse. So yeah, I dove into Aaron's pool with all my clothes on, shoes on, hat on, everything, and just hit underwater for like, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. And it was so crazy because while I was sitting there underwater in the still, quiet, calm environment of just nothing underwater, right? I could still hear the craziness of what was happening above me. I could still hear the firework. I could hear people yelling and screaming, and I could see people running. I saw one dude cannonball into the water because he had the same idea as me. And when I poked my head out above the water about 15 seconds later, I see that John is getting tackled by like 5 people at the party who I don't even know. And they pretty much disarmed him. They got rid of all the fireworks out of his pockets and threw them to the side and held him down while the cops got called. And yeah, like 5 minutes later, the cops showed up. The party was pretty much over at this point. Everyone just started leaving. And they arrested that John dude. I mean, rightfully so. The dude was a fucking idiot. He was shooting bottle rockets at people. And the craziest part about all of this is he didn't hit one person. It was a party full of people in a pretty small backyard. And he was so fucked up and so stupid that he couldn't even aim properly. They just kept going at the ground and going up in the air, and everyone kept dodging them. And that's a great thing. I'm glad he didn't hit anybody because that shit could have gotten somebody seriously hurt. But either way, John learned his lesson the hard way. He got arrested. I think they hit him with public intoxication and probably some other things. I went home after this and just went to bed and was excited to tell this story time today. And needless to say, I think Aaron learned a valuable lesson too about throwing super huge parties, because sometimes people show up that you don't know and ruin them. But either way, this was definitely one of the top 10 craziest party stories I've ever really had. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, my 4th of July was interesting. So hopefully yours wasn't as bad as mine. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
I got them all fucking with me, and you know they all know that I'm always gonna do the most. I drop the top, everyone stop. Tell my hometown I say adios. I'm in the back of the crib with some G's on my fist, yeah, you know I'll go till I'm old.